Hello and welcome back to the world of psychology. Here is another little experiment for you. All you have to do is to think of a 9-digit number, like 3, 4, 9, 8, 6, and so on. It doesn't have to be exactly 9 digits. It could also be 10 digits, 11 digits. That's not that important. Just make up a quite long number. And if you're right in front of your computer, you can type the number into the commentary section if you want. If not, just say the number in your mind or say it out loudly. Are you ready? So please generate the number within the next about 10 seconds. Got one? Okay, now I will tell you which number you chose. Your number was... Sorry, that was a bluff. Of course I can't tell you which number you had, but maybe I can tell you something about some patterns in this number. For example, chances are that at some points you unconsciously went just one number up or just one number down. So even though you thought that this is a quite random number, the way your brain is constructed made you say after the number 4, the number 5. And after the number 5, maybe the number 6. Or maybe the other way around, which is even more common. Maybe after the 6 you said the 5 and after the 5 you said the 4. And the reason for that is that in our brain the neurons for the number 6 are more closely connected to the number 5 or the number 7 than, for example, to the number 0. And by the way, I suppose there was almost no 0 in your number because we don't use this number that often. So you see, our brain is constructed in a way that makes it quite difficult for us to create a really random number. And the reason are our experiences that shape our brain. How many times did we count numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not only in school, but also, for example, when we are lifting weights. We count how many repetitions we have to do. And all this time, which number comes after the 6? Well, it's the 7. And that's why these two numbers are closely connected in our brain. And one last prediction one could make about your number is that you probably avoided to name the same number twice or even 3 times. So for example, you probably avoided to say 3, 3, 4, 4, 6, 6, 6, because this would have been too suspicious. So scientists cannot really predict a 9-digit number, but he can tell you some patterns that will probably occur, and he might even be better at predicting the number when he would videotape your eye movements. What are you talking about? My eye movements? Well, there is a nice study published by Lötscher and colleagues in 2010, and the title of the study was "Eye Position Predicts What Number You Have in Mind." A quite spectacular title for the study, but if you read the study, it's not that spectacular. Because what they found is, when people are told to generate a random number, like you were told in the beginning, you can predict with a certain probability. It was far from 100%. The probabilities were about 61 to 65%. You can predict with a certain probability from their eye movements which will be the next number. So for example, when the previous number was a 3 and the next number was going to be a 7, their eyes would turn to the upper right. But if it was the other way around, when the previous number was, for example, an 8 and the next number would be a 3, there was a tendency to move the eyes leftward and downwards. And the reason probably is our mental representation of numbers. When we learn numbers at school, when we take a look at a ruler or if we look at a measuring tape, On the left side, there are the low numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the right side, on the far right end, there are the really high numbers. And if you're asked to generate a random number, your eyes probably sometimes follow this mental representation of the numbers.